You are listening to the Great Leader, Great Mom podcast, episode 66. I'm your host, Liz Jolly, founder of the School of Courage. I'm an engineer turned life coach because I saw the need for more courage in my own life as a mom and wanting to be a great leader. I use the skills we cover every day, and I'm excited to teach them to you so you can unlock your own potential. Well, welcome to Healthy Living Part 4. I hope you guys have gotten some good information and helpful tools out of all of this journey so that you really can live the healthy lifestyle that you want, and one that's sustainable, not one that's just going to make you boomerang later in the struggle of diet world, which many people live in. So today, let's start with a question. How many of you lately over the summer have gone to a restaurant with friends or family and you sit down and you look at the menu and you start scanning and your brain is like lit up with all the delicious options and you're like, oh, they have a hamburger with aioli and fries with truffle oil, or they have fish tacos with some great coleslaw and fries, and your brain is like so excited about all the potential food and everybody around you is talking about the food, and you think, oh, well, I was going to get the salad. I had the intention of getting the salad, but now I don't want to be awkward because everybody else is ordering hamburgers and fries or fish tacos. And so you get the hamburger with fries and you eat all of it, licking your fingers with the truffle oil. And in the end, you end up excessively full and disappointed in yourself. You feel like a failure and you're just mad. So often, this is all of us, right? Like we have this great intention, and then the reality is we don't follow through on what we want. And so we beat ourselves up, and many of us reconfirm the fact that we suck at this and our diets or healthy lifestyle attempts in the past haven't worked, ergo, this one's not going to work, and we should just give up because we're disgusted with ourselves. This doesn't have to be this way. Today, we're really going to dig into your superpower when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle. And I bet you already, you are so close to this. You use this skill in other areas of your life. We just need to apply it to food. And once you see this, you can apply it to working out, how much you want to drink, like alcohol on the weekend, say, literally getting anything you want done. Because if we understand how our brain works, then we can apply the same skill set we use in other areas to get what we want in all the other areas of our life. Let's start with why it makes perfect sense that our brain does all of this, where we have great intentions and then it all goes down the toilet in the moment. Your brain is set up to look for danger. Your brain is set up to look for danger and to stay safe. It always wants to stay in the cave, to be part of the herd. So if you're, for some reason, rejected and you're alone in the savannah, or you're alone out there that could be criticized or uncomfortable, your brain is going to freak out. And so often, to avoid being alone or rejected or ousted or feeling awkward, our brain gives into peer pressure. And hear me out. Your primitive brain, this default stay safe, go back to the cave part of your brain, will win 1000% of the time over your good intentions in the moment. Guaranteed. This is why we end up in this scenario in the restaurant or in all the other parts of our life where we're like, well, I really wanted to go work out, and then I don't even know what happened. I didn't do it. And this is because your brain in the moment will go into this panic mode being like, no, we should just stay comfortable. We should just stay in the cave. We should just stay part of the group and like blend in. Our brain freaks out and offers us so many funny reasons as to why we should stay comfortable and not put ourselves out there to be rejected. When we tell ourselves that we need to do what everybody else is doing, like if you're at a restaurant in terms of ordering and you want to order what everybody else is ordering, you do it out of a place of wanting to be accepted, and yet you don't even accept yourself. You're not listening to what it is you really want. So nothing has gone wrong. If you're just like, great, this is it, I give up, don't, because we haven't even gotten to the good part yet. We all need to understand how to override this primitive default side of our brain that I just described. And you really do use this override every single day, especially if you have a job. We're just going to apply it to food now. So, how many of you go to work and Outlook pops up a meeting notice like in 15 minutes, you need to be in this room with these other people for this meeting, and you go? It's not like you just decide in the moment, I don't know, should I go? Do I feel like it? Maybe, maybe not. Because that would be so weird if you just decided in this meeting that was set up that you accepted to just not go. Like, most of us don't do that at work. And people would legitimately not impressed by your commitment levels if you just decided all the time in the moment to not go to meetings that you had committed to. So this skill set, because when you accept a meeting and you say you're going to go and then you actually follow through because your calendar says, all right, go to this room. Some of us don't even realize, like without our calendars, we would have no idea where to go because our whole days are just full of meetings that we just comply to and follow through on whatever the plan says. This is the skill set we're going to apply to our food. We need to make a plan. This is your superpower, and you already do it, right? So to apply it to food, you just need to commit in advance, just like you do for going to a meeting that you accepted, and follow through on that commitment. One of the funny things I think that we all experience is like if I go to Costco, and now I just Instacart Costco for this exact reason, but if you go to Costco or the grocery store when you're hungry, what happens? I'm guessing that you're just like me and you shop based on your hunger impulses. And so whether you get samples or everything you see looks absolutely amazing, and then you get home and you're like, what the heck happened? I just bought like a whole box of peaches and a whole thing of frozen dessert things that like I don't even know if these are good. And now I have like $20 worth and this is ridiculous. So in the end, what happens is we buy all of these things compulsively at the grocery store. And then if you're like me, like I buy the box of white peaches and I'm excited about them, but I can't eat 12 peaches before they get too soft. And then putting them in the fridge, they're never the same. My children don't want to eat that many peaches. So I think to myself when I look at them getting soft, oh, I better not let them go to waste. Why don't I make peach ice cream? Because like that makes sense. And even saying it out loud makes me laugh. So I make peach ice cream, which involves buying more things like cream and more whole milk to make ice cream and a bunch of my time. All because I didn't want the peaches to go to waste, all because I bought them compulsively at the grocery store, or I mean at Costco, not even the grocery store. Had I been at the grocery store, I would have bought like three, not the Costco 12. So were peaches on my list? No. Did I actually follow through on what was on my list? And no, I bought compulsively just whatever I felt like my stomach said, yes, that sounds delicious. We need all of it. This is what we do, right? Like we convince ourselves of what we think we need because we don't have a real plan and we don't have an actual commitment to follow through on a plan. The other example that I always laugh about is my brother's wife. She's from Trinidad and we love to travel together. And so a couple summers ago, we were going to Tobago, which is this fabulous vacation spot. But to get there, you have to go through Trinidad. And so we were staying at her parents' house. And before we were going, her dad was collecting things out of the refrigerator and the freezer because he was taking the ferry to the island while we were flying. And so he was going through the fridge and the freezer, collecting anything so that it didn't go to waste at the house in Trinidad. And so what did he bring? The funniest thing was he literally brought one piece of lettuce, like in a bag, one piece of lettuce, and then half an avocado. And there were going to be like 14 people in this house, which is hilarious because what do you do with a piece of lettuce? Like, do you buy more lettuce so that other people can have lettuce? Do you just make one sandwich to put the lettuce on? Is one person just going to eat the one piece of lettuce? Like, it was just so funny in my mind because we all do this where we think, well, I don't want it to go to waste in the fridge, so I better eat it or better bring it in this case. We do this also with like dessert, say you have kid birthday cake and they didn't eat it all, or kid birthday party pizza, and you think, well, I better not let it go to waste. And so you just keep eating pizza that's left over, or you eat the cake like standing over the trash can. We find ourselves standing at the fridge thinking, well, I don't want it to go to waste, so I better eat it. if you really challenge this assumption, it's like, so throwing something away is worse than throwing something away that I really don't want in my body? Like trash in my body or trash in the garbage? And we don't question it. So many of us have this scarcity mindset that if I don't eat this, there's never going to be enough food and we're all going to starve. And I'm pretty sure most of you like have an excess of food and all of us end up with too much. And it's ridiculous. One, that we buy too much. Like that's completely true, totally for me. But also that you decide your body is a trash can and not wanting things in the fridge to go to waste instead of just throwing it away. Because once it's in your body, you have to then burn it off as fuel. And you have to ask yourself, is that fuel that I just didn't waste in the fridge going to be wasteful for my body? Should I be eating something else that drives me towards my healthy living goal? You would never go put watered down gasoline in your car to avoid wasting it, only to have your car not run properly and maybe have like actual mechanical issues later. This is what we do to our bodies. We convince ourselves that we should just eat the watered down gasoline in a car scenario and end up with problems or feeling awful instead of just deciding, do I actually want and need this or no? So, to avoid our primitive brain's flawed logic, whether it's in the grocery store or whether we're at a restaurant or we're just going to sit down and eat, we have to plan our food. The way we plan and the reason why this works is because we use our prefrontal cortex. So, here's what I mean. If I make a good list for the grocery store and I'm committed to only buying what's on that list, then when I go and I walk through each aisle and I see things that makes me feel this urge to buy, I go back to my key question for me, which is, well, is it on my list? And if the answer is no, then I just don't buy it. If I really want it, then I can put it on the list for the next time I go to the store. And that question that pops up naturally now is how I can shop and be committed to only buying what's on my list. It also applies like if you're doing Instacart or whatever else, you can just decide, okay, here's the day of the week I'm going to go to the grocery store, and then I'm only going to get what's on my list and nothing else. And if I miss it, I miss it. It's okay. You get it the next time. No big deal. This is what we're going to apply to our food plan. And I'm going to call a food plan our protocol. And we have to plan out our meals just like we'd plan out going to meetings or just like we'd plan out when we go to the grocery store and we only want to get what's on our list. We are going to put in our protocol when we eat and go back to the last episode if you missed the extended fasting, and we're going to plan what we eat. And I will tell you, having an actual plan and following through your plan is way more important than what you actually put in your mouth. Because we are trying to build this commitment, this habit of only putting in our mouth what it is that we've committed to actually eat. Nothing else. It's like going to the grocery store and deciding I'm only getting what's on my list. Anything else, I can put it in a plan for later. We want to train our brain how to move away from being compulsive, that primitive brain side of us, and create a plan and stick to our plan. So in addition with what we're going to eat on our protocol, we're going to list out what are the foods that we want to avoid. And the point of writing down foods you want to avoid is to, again, build that commitment, follow through pattern. The other thing that is interesting in all of this is you're not trying to deprive yourself, and willpower will fail you every time. This is like resisting the urge or resisting the desire you get. What you want to do is you can plan for really anything you want to eat in that time frame, but do your, here's when I'm going to eat and what I'm going to put in my mouth. Even if it's like, I'm going to have dessert. Try it out. And then as a scientist, work towards seeing how your body responds to that food and then make a decision if it's something you want to repeat. Like, did you like the way that felt, or do you want to avoid it in the future? The reason you want to do this and not just try to like willpower yourself and say, I will never eat anything other than salad is ridiculous. Like that's going on a diet that will likely fail because you're resisting all of the urges. So for your protocol, plan what you ate. And then also I want you to have the what actually happened part of it. Like what did you put in your mouth? Notice that the food you put in your mouth is a conscious choice because so often we are really good at telling ourselves, like, I just don't know what happened. I just like fell off the wagon or I had to eat it. Like the food just magically jumped into your mouth and you swallowed it instead of really consciously knowing that I decided to eat it and I put it in my mouth and then I decided to chew it and swallow it. There's so much agency we have here with food, but we like to renege on that all the time. And if you do eat off your plan, if you do go off protocol, write down the reason why. Like, what is it that you were thinking in the moment that you decided to eat the hamburger and truffle fries? Do not use this as a way to beat yourself up or confirm that you're a failure or you're going to always be a failure. This is not helpful. You're a scientist, and so you're going to drop the drama and you're just going to look at, like, what is the story my brain told me that I decided, yes, that is a fantastic reason to put the hamburger in my mouth. Okay. So don't judge yourself. You have to be full of compassion here because you're going to start noticing, like, what are the themes that show up in my mind that I find myself giving into? Because the more you can build this awareness, the more you can stop them and drop them before you take action from them. Doing this is practicing your own self-love and really building that because you're making a commitment and then you're following through. You want to be a person that does what you say you're going to do. And this is true with food. And you decide, okay, I'm going to eat rice and lentils and chicken for dinner. And then you do that and you think, amazing. Look at the fact that I made a plan and I followed through. This is where you get the self-love. This is so true if you listen to episodes on like how to get anything you want done, totally in the same vein. It's all about using your prefrontal cortex, our amazing brains, plan in advance. And then once you have that plan, your primitive brain won't even, I mean, it'll be making noise, but you'll be like, no, I'm following through on my plan. I got this. Other things you can add to your protocol is use it once a week to monitor your weight. Like weigh yourself in the morning, weigh yourself at the same time once a week or every 3 days or something. Because again, you're playing scientist. And so you're trying to see, I ate those things. How did my weight change? And then I want you to notice, how did you feel after you ate it? One of the examples I have from earlier this week is I had this idea to make granola bars because I played too much pickleball. And because I was so hungry, I went down to like the store at the gym and bought a protein bar. And I will tell you, I don't think I've ever bought a protein bar in my whole life. I was very overwhelmed and staring at all the different boxes. So I picked one that was like peanut butter and chocolate, thinking, okay, well, I guess like that should have protein. And I like peanut butter. Like I really like peanut butter and apples. And then I like chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? Well, it tasted like sawdust and it was like a $4 protein bar. I felt like one of those mean jokes that people do to animals where they give you peanut butter and you can hardly swallow or chew, like your mouth is stuck together. I ate it because I felt like I was running out of energy and I truly needed something in my stomach. But it was just hilarious how, one, the protein bar tasted like sawdust. Two, I could hardly chew and I needed so much water afterward to get it down. It did make my hunger pains go away and I could play 2 hours more pickleball, but hilarious. And so I had this idea, let me make my own granola bars so that as a backup, if I end up in this scenario again, that I have something that's good for my body that I can ingest in from my bag instead of buying another sawdust protein bar. I make the granola bars and they don't end up being like bars because I didn't really have all the ingredients. They kind of ended up just being like this granola, which was beautiful, so good. But I did use a lot of maple syrup because I was trying to use that to make it stick together and it just didn't work. So it had a lot of sugar. And when I ate it as one of my meals, I that night woke up with like the worst headache. And all I could think of is it's probably connected to the fact that I ate that granola, which, yes, it was delicious, but it really did have a lot of sugar from all the maple syrup. And I haven't been having much sugar in my diet just because of this reason. Like it did not make me feel good. And I was really exhausted. So as a scientist, I can think, okay, this is great. It's beautiful granola, but do I want to put that back in my mouth and then wake up with a headache in the middle of the night from the sugar? No, probably not. So be the scientist. Notice what it is that happens when you eat the food. Like, how do you actually feel? Does it make you feel really good? Because I will tell you, when I am eating what my body really likes as fuel, I feel like I have ridiculous amounts of energy. People make fun of me at pickleball because I have so much energy. And it's interesting because I'm not using willpower because I really am eating things that taste delicious to me and I'm eating only till I get full. I'm not making the effort to clean my plate. And if I don't clean my plate, I literally just scoop it into the trash can instead of thinking, oh, I don't want it to go to waste. And then I put it in the fridge for later when honestly, I'm not really very excited most often about leftovers. So that's my example. Use your prefrontal cortex, plan what it is you're going to eat, when you're going to eat. There's a link below to a worksheet if you want to have a sample protocol. And then put on there, what is it you actually ate? How did you feel? What did you want to avoid? Did you avoid it? What is the story you told yourself? If you did give in and eat off protocol, what is your weight? Did you notice how hungry or how full you were before you put something in your mouth or then afterward? And make decisions from there. Again, like the scientist. Next week, we're going to talk all about urges because the three key critical things in all of weight loss is having a plan, following through on your plan, and then allowing urges. Because what is the one thing that's going to happen to your brain when you decide, I'm going to have a plan and I'm going to eat all of these things that I said? Your brain is going to freak out and you're going to have more urges than it felt like you've ever had in your whole life that are just overwhelming. So we're going to go through what to do about these urges and it's going to be fun. I hope you're having fun on this journey. Always send me a note if you have questions or comments, and we can always extend this podcast series as well. So with that, I wish you all an amazing week and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.